What is up, F and True followers and wrestling fans? You are watching the F and brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com. My name is JC Styles, and I am back with the Monday Night Raw review for February 25th, 2013. It was a pretty good night on Raw tonight, I have to say. I really enjoyed this Raw. There were some low points and some high points that I am going to talk about when we get to them. And I'm just going to start off the show. We start off the show with Vince McMahon coming out and gets right to business and calls Paul Heyman out. Paul Heyman comes out, then cuts a promo and talks about how Vince put him out of business and put other hard-working promoters out of business. Talked about the Monday Night Wars, talked about how the McMahons have been treating Paul Heyman over the last several years, and that he had enough. He goes in, he grabs Vince's crutch and starts to beat down on Vince. Then Vince gets back to his feet and grabs the crutch back from Heyman and wails on Heyman. Then Brock Lesnar comes out. Just as Lesnar gets in the ring to go to make a motion towards Vince, Triple H comes out, and these two tear into each other, which led to Brock Lesnar getting his head bounced off the ring post, which needed 12 staples in his head to close the cut in his head. And this was brutal. They tried so hard to keep the camera off of Brock, it wasn't even funny. And this was one of the highlights of the night. I have to say this was actually pretty good. I was surprised that they gave it to us so early in the night. I thought that they might have maybe waited to like the 8:30 mark or maybe 9 o'clock mark. But really, great spot. We then go into the first match of the night. We see Ryback defeat Dolph Ziggler. Then CM Punk comes out and refers to himself as God. He talks about how he's going to beat John Cena, go on and get his WWE Championship back at WrestleMania, and continue his WWE title reign. We then go into the Hall of Fame announcement. We take a quick look at the past announcements of the Hall of Fame so far. Then we go into Donald Trump will be inducted into the 2013 Hall of Fame. Then we go into probably, I want to say, one of the low point of the night. Mark Henry picking up the win over the Great Khali. Now, I don't know. I've never really been a fan of big two monsters going at it one against another, especially someone with the mass of Mark Henry and the height and power of the Great Khali, because the match don't really sell all that well. And I don't know, like I said, this was one of the low moments of the night for me. I thought this match could have been a little bit better. I have some kind of a feeling that we're going to get a Mark Henry Khali match at WrestleMania, and I hope we don't. But I just got that feeling from watching this match, and Mark Henry has been really taking it to Khali since his return. We then go into probably another highlight of the night, Miz TV with Del Rio and Ricardo and Swagger and Zeb. This segment was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Zeb was really playing the heel very well, talking about the immigrants, talking about how the immigrants that come over to the United States that, from Mexico and all over are referred to criminals by Zeb, and really was just like poking and prodding at Alberto Del Rio and his people and the Mexican race and Mexican heritage. And Del Rio got really heated and said that if you want to remove us, why don't you come over and try to make a move? Then Swagger goes and says that I'll see you at WrestleMania, we the people. And then this segment comes to an end. We then go to commercial break and come back, and we see a quick video highlight of what happened during the commercial when Zeb came out and distracted the Miz, saying he didn't like how that biased and racial interview was conducted. WWE at this current time was trying to get Glenn Beck on Raw for his comments that he made on his show. There's been a lot of that surfing the net, around the net, and here on YouTube. But we see the Miz get jumped by Swagger from behind. This leads to a match later in the night. We then see Randy Orton pick up the win over Antonio Cesaro, while Cesaro came off the second rope and went right headfirst into an RKO. This was actually a pretty good match. These guys, like I've said over the last several weeks, when you get these two guys in the ring, they really deliver. Orton really delivered in this match, and he was looking good tonight, and he bought it. This was another highlight of the night for me. We then see Daniel Bryan and Kane talking backstage, talking about how they have a match with the Primetime Players. Then they said that Kane says he could beat Primetime Players by himself with one arm tied behind his back, and Daniel Bryan could beat them both with wearing a blindfold. Vicky then comes in and Brad also, and these two are kind of, you know, mixing together and, you know, vibing off, not vibing together, but kind of like bouncing off of one another like two magnets. And we wind up seeing Daniel Bryan being blindfolded and Kane tied with one arm tied behind his back in this matchup later in the night. We then see Sheamus Oscar snubs, where he's pretty much just poking fun at Wade Barrett, in the movie coming up. These guys, then Wade Barrett comes out and starts talking and says that Sheamus is green with envy, and it's funny because that's the color of, you know, his people, you know, and stuff like that. Talked about how he was going to be walking the red carpet, where Sheamus is sitting in a pub and watching the red carpet on the television, and then Sheamus goes to. Barrett goes to hit the bull hammer, and then Sheamus ducks under to go to hit the bro kick, and then Wade scurries out of the ring away from the bro kick, and says he's got to protect his face, his good looks. We then see R-Truth pick up a win over Cody Rhodes. We then see Kane and Daniel Bryan blindfolded and one arm tied behind their back defeat the Primetime Players. Then Shield comes out, cuts a really good promo, talks about their stint in the WWE as of right now, their match at TLC, their match at Elimination Chamber, and their match last week on Raw. And they said that build a super team and we'll destroy them like we did Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus at Elimination Chamber, and Jericho last week as well. And then Sheamus comes out on the stage and really taunting them. Then he gets Ambrose and Reigns' attention. They start making their way up to the stage, up the ramp, I should say. And then Orton sneaks in behind Rollins and hits an RKO, and then scurries up through the crowd. Sheamus standing on the ring, Orton standing in the crowd, and Roman Reigns and Ambrose are standing over a prone Seth Rollins. This was actually a pretty good segment as well. I really like that they got a little of their own injustice served on them. Then we see We the People YouTube video shown about jobs. Pretty good. I'm really liking this. It seems that with the incident that happened last week with Jack Swagger and this whole incident with the Glenn Becks, I'm as of right now, I'm probably going to go on record and say that I think WWE is going to continue with the current push right now, because WWE is kind of trying to, kind of stick it to Glenn Becks a little bit. I didn't watch the whole interview, but I watched a little bit of it here and there between the commercial breaks, and he was really, really rude with some of the comments that he made about the WWE. And it looks like WWE is trying to do this angle more now. And according to what I heard on the net, they sent a video crew over to try to get an interview after Bex turned down the invite to Raw. We then go into Miz picking up the win over Jack Swagger. And then in the main event, Jack Swagger picking up a win over the Miz, excuse me. We then go into CM Punk versus John Cena. This match was pretty good. This was a highlight of the night. I really tipped my hat off to John Cena. He pulled off some great moves, with the exception of the Hurricanrana that he delivered at the closing moments of the match, which led into him hitting the FU and picking up the win. The low light of the night, we didn't get any Undertaker. There was rumored that he might be at Dallas. Then mid through the show, there was rumors going around that he wasn't in the arena. He wasn't in Dallas at all. And I would assume as of right now, we now know that we won't possibly have Undertaker at WrestleMania, unless they still decide to have Undertaker fly and work some house shows, to get some of that ring rust off, and then maybe possibly have him show up at WrestleMania and maybe do a feud still with CM Punk. But I don't know, with the whole CM Punk God comment, I'm wondering what they're going to do and what they're planning on setting up for CM Punk. It looks like Brock Lesnar Triple H's feud is taking one step further and maybe seeing a build towards WrestleMania. So I'm really hoping that we get that maybe in a Hell in a Cell or some kind of demonic other structure, maybe Hell in a Cell or Steel Cage or something like that. But guys, please leave your comments in the comment box below and let me know what you have to think and what you say and what you have to input onto this Monday Night Raw. Curious to hear what you guys have to say. I love interacting with you guys, our fans and subscribers here at the F&Brand. And for the F&Brand, the Wrestling Entertainment, my name is JC Styles, and I will catch you later.